Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving School.
Hello and welcome to Owen Town. My name is Dave. Here's what we're going to talk about today. Friday night at Turf Moor saw the Hatters snatch a point with a last-minute equaliser that set the travelling fans wild, whilst the home fans were a little furious, as they felt yet again they got let down by VAR. The 1-1 draw, I think, was the least what Luton deserved, and all the conversation afterwards was about that last-minute decision by the referees. We're going to discuss the game and that decision in more detail tonight. Also asked you guys, why do you think goalkeepers are overprotected in the modern game? We'll have a chat about that too. We have your 3-word reviews and much, much more. And as always, we have with us tonight Steve and Butaro. Boys, how are we doing?
Hello.
Yeah, lovely, Dave. Very good, mate. Thank you.
All good, mate. Thank you.
We're going to talk about the game in more detail. Before we start, I just want to touch on the Premier League rulings today for Everton and Nottingham Forest, because that could end up being an advantage to us.
Well, yeah, that's if they get it this season. You know what happens in football sometimes, like we discussed beforehand. But anyway, yeah, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, apparently Forest have basically said that they're going to sort of go along and sort of help with the proceedings. So they're probably going to accept it, which might work in their favour by getting a smaller points deduction. Again, apparently it's early days, but apparently Everton are going to fight it tooth now. They've still got the first appeal still outstanding, so it's a bizarre one. But I think you said before we came on air, Dave, that the dates necessarily just leaves it open for complete...
I think it leaves it open to manipulation by the Premier League. If you look, I think the last time, or it's like May the 24th, is the time where they will dish out the penalties, if it goes that far, but that's when it's got to be done by. And May the 24th season's over. And for me, it looks like that they can manipulate those points deductions to do whatever they need to. They can also fine them as well. They don't have to points deduction.
That's
they
right.
Can fine them. So
right.
We can sit here and go, oh my God. And then, do you know what? If we manage to stay up because they've had points deductions, guess what we're going to get? Luton were rubbish. They only stayed up for points deductions.
We'd love that, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I'd love every minute of that.
I'm going to say the bank manager won't give a flying one about that either, would he? So, you know.
I think, we can't rely on that. We've been playing better. So, it just might work out for us in two ways, hopefully.
I think they're going to also say, well, how long is it going to take to get Man City and Chelsea, get them in order?
Yeah,
but I think Man City have got over 100 charges.
115 charges.
Yeah.
And Nottingham Forest had one. And Everton have had, obviously, two now. So it's easier to deal with them. I think Everton are objecting on the fact that they've included interest payments on their new stadium.
Can't they just do Man City's one at a time? Say, there's another 10 points.
Well, there's no fairness.
There's
in
another 10 points.
I mean, as much as it might benefit us, financial fair play, there is no fairness in it there.
No.
Because they're allowing Manchester City just to carry on and keep winning and keep putting that money in. Chelsea will be in the same position if they're not too careful. Anyway, we'll see how that one goes out. We'll keep an eye on it.
I'm not surprised about Forest, though. That is the one I thought might have come out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
Because that was ridiculous what they were doing. But anyway, whatever.
But they've done nothing different to the Man Cities of this world when they first started off, when, they chucked loads and loads of money at this squad.
Yeah, of course. But what they were saying, obviously, earlier on Sky Sports, I was listening to it, they were saying basically for EFL clubs coming up, having to pump the money in, it's a lot more difficult for them to do it. Whereas like the bigger clubs already have the, the structure in there. And
because I remember sort of during the summer, I think Gary Sweet said you don't get the first tranche from the Premier League until sometime in July.
Right, okay.
So you can't sort of get promoted the next day, just go wallop, have some of that, because, Luton certainly couldn't because, any spare money was going on the new stand, wouldn't it? So, we definitely had to wait.
Like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep everybody informed and we'll see what goes on with that. Let's have a look at your 3-word reviews for Burnley 1, Luton Town 1. Lee said, left it late. Alan Gregory, hello Alan, thanks for listening. Better than Burnley. Mark, smash and grab. Freddie, least we deserved. Another Mark, one more point. Ad says, must take chances. Ollie, never a foul. Phil, another striker needed. Ricky, needed 3 points. and Andy, video assistant referee. Anyone want to take one out of that?
Go on, mate.
No, go on, Steve. It's usually me. Go on, you first.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have half of them.
Only one, mate. Come on, only one.
Smash and grab. To me, smash and grab suggests you've been under the cosh the whole game and you've just broken away once and you've scuffed one in. Yeah. I mean, we'll get onto the game, but the first half, my interpretation of smash and grab, I don't agree with that. I know that we got the late one and that was brilliant. Needed 3 points. Again, I think it was just more important not to lose.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, weren't we?
We did say that last week.
Do not lose.
Do not lose this game.
I'm sure it was all devastating until the goal went in, weren't we? Thinking, oh no, they're going to be a point behind us and all this sort of stuff.
At half time, it was just, how the hell are we 1-0 down?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they were playing with a quite a high line and it just played right into Barkley's, into his strengths. And we were just picking them off. We just couldn't seem to get that connection on the last bit, could we?
Which we do struggle with quite a lot,
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to look at?
Do you know what? I was just going to say, point out what Alan put. Hello, Alan, by the way. I hope you're all right, mate. Better than Burnley, which, in fact, over the course of the season, we've been much better than Burnley as well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that people are still looking at it, Burnley going, oh, they play some good football. I hear all the time, oh, they play wonderful football, this and that. And I'm thinking, they're not that good, are they?
No,
for
90 million.
90 million quid.
Yeah, 90 million spent.
You know what I mean? It's,
there's always a narrative when you do that job, when you're editing for things like Match of the Day and whatever else. But if you'd have looked at Match of the Day, you'd have thought we wouldn't have had a shout.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, you say that, actually. Yeah, I heard that yesterday. Someone said to me, and I watched it. I was like...
I couldn't believe it. That's what I said the next day. You know, I said, well, look at this. You know, we had one where Doughty put a great cross across and Elijah just couldn't
stretch,
go in the end of it. But, yeah, it looked like we was under the cosh. And we absolutely bossed that first half. You know, as you say, editorial, just nonsense.
But, you know, that's the thing with anything, statistics, whatever else. You can manipulate them to your own agenda. Burnley 1, Luton 1. We had 3 changes from the Bolton game: Kaminsky and Townsend, and Clark for Krul, Chong and Morris. The first half, basically, I think we played some really good football. I thought
we did.
That we had possession, Bataro, and we were sitting there going, wow, if we carry on like this, all we need is that one piece of luck.
I think it was you that turned around and said to me at one point, I think you see something like 67% possession on the screen.
Yeah,
and
it was
you
crazy.
went, Bataro, I said, look at that. And I went, I'm not surprised. I said, but at the same time, you are surprised because we don't play possession-based football usually.
No.
And you'd probably sort of say Burnley, they did last season. I haven't really watched them too much this season, but they were that team to keep the ball and, you know, manipulate it a little bit more. But it's almost like roles reversed a little bit.
Yeah, for at least 30 minutes, that first half, at least 30 minutes, we were completely in control of it, you know, and we were just picking them off.
That's true. I think Barkley and the Conga in midfield were amazing.
Yeah.
Barkley controlling it again and pinging some great balls out to Doughty on the right.
They were playing quite a high line, weren't they? As I said a moment ago, and say Ogbene was there. Didn't really happen so much to the left. Although I think, you know...
They did switch at one point.
Oh, yeah, they didn't switch it, but the amount... I think Barkley done maybe 3 or 4 where he just put it straight over their fullback's head.
With diagonals.
And Ogbene was on it,
Amazing.
The problem is with all this play and all this possession, you've got to create a few more chances. And we were a bit bereft of chances, really. I mean, we had a couple of long shots.
Didn't create much, do we, at all?
No,
really.
And so for all the good football, do we need to get someone else up the front to help?
To be fair, I think the issue for me the other day was the wing play sometimes. I felt like it was okay, but it was, you know, like someone says, oh, what do you think when Ogbene gets the ball? You think he's going to drive at him? I felt he didn't really do that. I felt that there was more of I think there's more instructions from maybe the management or whatever else. But I think we're trying to keep the ball, playing it side to side. But for me, I wanted Ogbene and Doughty sometimes just get the ball and just run at people and just get a corner away. I know we've got a few corners, I get that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I felt like the ball was coming back a bit too much sometimes.
I know it's a completely different level, but do you remember when we had McGeehan? The amount of goals he would get, you know, he was a bit like Lampard. He like a midfielder, and he'd hit the penalty area late, but really well timed. And we don't seem to have anyone that's doing those bursts into the penalty area.
Even Berry's one of those players as well. Like Berry, you know, the last few years, obviously back in the Championship and whatever else, you know, he was the player that if he's playing in midfield, he would get forward, he would score goals.
There's certain types of player that can sort of just, you know, latch onto the end of these crosses or second balls and that. And I think we're crying out, mind you, probably after the league are crying out for a player like that.
Yeah, of course. But like you say, then the way we're playing at the moment with the 3 and 5 across midfield, then who do you sort of like? No, it's a 3-5-2, isn't it? Yeah, as such, or is it a 3-4-3? No, it's 3-4-3. Sorry. So the flat four in the midfield, you've got two holding midfielders in there, which then allows the wing backs as such to go forward a bit more, and they sort of anchor in the midfield. But I think if we want a player that's going to come in from like midfield to score like late goals, like late runs, then you're going to have to change formation slightly. I don't think it would work anyway.
No, I know.
But yeah.
For me, Alfie Doughty had a pretty decent game again. And I know I'm going to get caned for this, but when the transfer window's open, you suddenly start thinking, who's looking at these players? Which teams are going to go, actually, we're going to go in and get that guy. Yeah,
Osho is another one that's, allegedly getting attention and that.
Well, it's nice to have attention, but, the team are playing well. Given our position in the table, given what everybody expected us to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I am disappointed that we didn't get a goal or two in front of Burnley straight away.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think any Burnley fan who happens to be listening or watching this would agree that in that first 30 minutes we played them off the park.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but they had the best chance of the game very early.
Yeah.
The 1-2 on the outside of the box.
Kaminsky
save. Then I started that was like 5 minutes in, 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
Not that long into the game.
Yeah, it was.
I thought at that point, oh my God, here we go.
I don't think I felt like that as such. I'm not, here we go. I felt like it's more the fact of if you give maybe one or two of them in the way in the game, we're going to concede at least one. But I genuinely felt, maybe it was the beer flowing, Dave, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe sitting
Shock.
there. Yeah. Beer. But no, I think it was the fact that, we had such a good start to the game, like we're saying, and it's 0-0. And then, like you say, then when they score, and it's like, oh my God, this is always going to come back to bite us. We think the same thing every single time. And it just seems to be sort of just a pattern in how we play and how things go for us.
Can I just very quickly ask about Kaminsky's kicking? There must have been 5 or 6 times where he kicked it straight out of play.
Oh, that was all the booing. It's the booing that put him off, wasn't it? On the Burnley fans think they put him off. Hey, listen, he put him out of play, but he still did a good shift, didn't he?
Yeah, and obviously got his own back at the end after the game, didn't he?
Oh, hey, heads up to Luton Town official TikTok on the Oops video. That was
well, we know who Happy Harry is now, though, don't we? He unveiled himself.
Yeah. They did score, and they scored 9 minutes before half time, and it was just I don't know how to describe it. I mean, who was defending them? I think Teden didn't get a foot in.
Yeah, it was Teden.
And Teden didn't get the foot in, and then he just waltzed past him quite quickly.
Yeah, it was one of the first times, though, Mengi got held one-on-one.
Yeah.
Normally we were doubling up on the wings, and that's why they weren't getting any joy. But he got him one-on-one.
Pinged it in.
Yeah. Fair play to that Odegaard, though. I thought he was a good little player, to be fair.
And you're not going to miss from 6 yards out.
Was it 6 yards? It was
further out than that.
I was going to say
it felt like 6 yards when I was watching it.
It was about 12, 13 yards out, wasn't it?
So I don't think it would have gone in if the guy hadn't been right next to Kaminsky. He wasn't offside, but it was certainly impeding his ability to make a clean save.
I was kind of expecting Kaminsky to kind of just like dive at something, dive at it or do something else. He just sort of he just stood there. I know I'm not blaming him. He's probably it's probably tough to get out of that situation. Obviously, like you got players around you and whatever, but I still think it's a poor goal to concede.
Are you suggesting a goalkeeper would jump into an attacker and
jump into him,
feign a foul? Is that what you?
Well, I mean,
we'll come on to that later on.
Well, not quite jump into him, but just sort of give him a bit back or whatever. Just I don't know.
Yeah.
But then that's the risk you take these days. But no, look, I'm not blaming him.
He didn't have time. But when the shot was made, it was quite a firm shot. It was just a reaction, but the guy was just sort of being a.
But no, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying he should have saved everything. That's not what I'm saying. But yeah, just
it's disappointing, wasn't it? It's disappointing it was disappointing when you played so well and then you find yourself 1-0 behind.
Yeah.
And immediately you feel that you're going to be on the back foot for a bit. But it didn't work like that to the end of the first half. We get in at 1-0 and you're thinking, how are we going to change this? How are Burnley going to be in the second half? And they started like you expected them to, Steve. I'm sure of that.
Yeah, so I was still just so annoyed about it, but that means that they started sort of quite brightly and that they made a sort of couple of subtle tactical changes and that which we struggled to sort of get on the front foot with, but we did carry on, we did keep going and find a way, and as the commentators are saying, once it's getting towards the end of the game, you said Luton are right up for it, and so it turned out. But
and thankfully this season, like you said, we scored how many? It's 80 or no, over 50-something% or 60% of our goals in the last 15 or 14 minutes.
after the 75th minute. Yeah, that's right.
It's again disappointing that we went in at 1-0 and then come out and Burnley had a couple of really decent chances. I think of the one where Kaminsky was going the wrong way and then he pushed it over around the post.
That was a good save because I think that was just curling in. That was a good effort, well adjusted.
And you're thinking, when are we going to get our chance? And they didn't really come.
No,
they didn't really come.
Nothing was happening, was it, up front? Like you say, it was. I'll be honest. I felt like it wasn't the best of games after the first half hour. Maybe it's just a bias. I don't know. But I felt like it was a quite poor game.
Yeah. It certainly got scrappy.
Yeah,
it certainly got scrappy.
Let's not put anything about this because the game itself was important to both teams. More important to Burnley to beat us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like we said, we didn't want to lose. We're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And I wondered if their mindset went, well, we're not that far from the end now. We need just to sit back and just soak it up.
Well, this is it, and it just let us get the initiative, didn't it? And it's almost what Sheffield United done when they went ahead on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
They went ahead and then they just sat back. They give us the initiative, and we capitalised. And thankfully we done it again.
Yeah.
Another thing, Kaminsky did take a bit of a battering from the home fans.
Yeah.
Because of his Blackburn connection, but they forgot our other player.
Yeah, complete.
Amari.
Yeah, that's what I said. Amari didn't get a whisper, did he? So
funny that, isn't it?
But does that mean that he wasn't that good, so they weren't that bothered about him? Maybe they knew Kaminsky and they knew
there's a big picture of Kaminsky getting bundled into the back of a goal when Burnley score. I think it sort of relates back to that sort of thing.
Okay.
Final 15 minutes though, we did pick it up. I mean, Morris is now on. Luke Berry's come on. Who else came on? Can't remember. Chong.
Yes,
Chong. And we seemed to get the bit between our teeth again, and we were going at them, Batari.
Well, you expect it, didn't you, really? I mean, especially when you're a goal down and you're playing a team that's, slightly, just behind you by a few points or whatever else. But no, look, I feel like if we hadn't gone through it, I feel like, the travelling fans up there, of course they're not be happy anyway. No one's happy, but Luton, you know what we're like. They put the effort, they put the commitment in there. And in the last 15, you've got nothing to lose when you're 1-0 down, really. No, and that's the point, isn't it? You've got nothing to lose. You just need to go for it. If we conceded again whilst going for it, I've gone, do you know what? Fair play.
1-0, 2-0. It's not a great difference. But, and the amount of crosses that Doughty gets over, and they're invariably all of a quality. And it was only a matter of time. And thankfully, that one, it was just beautifully flighted, wasn't it? It wasn't one that was just fluffed over where the keeper could take all the time, and that it was far enough out. He's just producing for us, isn't he? Every game, Doughty.
So before we talk about Trafford and Adebayo, Morris really rose well there, and he was very calm to put that in the goal.
Kept his eye on the ball as well. That's it.
Honestly,
concentration, everything.
We went mental, and then I looked up and went, "Oh, I've seen what Adebayo's done. They're going to call that. They're going to call that," and I went to the toilet.
I was just, I think we scored. I'm not sure though. It's probably going to be ruled out.
You didn't just go to the toilet. You complained that someone assaulted you. I believe you said I assaulted you because you were bleeding in the back of your neck, but I don't recall any of that, Dave.
I'll get Jacob to post the war wounds. So the goal goes in, and then the inevitable VAR check comes up.
Oh yeah.
And then you look at it, and if you look at it as a non-fan, if you really do look at it as a non-fan, you go, it's going to be lucky to be given this because we see them not given Batari.
But no, of course. I mean, like I said, that could have gone either way. But what I always said to people, and I had an argument with someone, my mate, the other day, and he said to me, he was like, "Oh, you're just a biased Luton fan, typical, blah, 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 whatever else." And I went, "Biased?" I said, "I'll tell you what then." I said, if the striker, that's all I referred to. I said, if the striker turns his body and shields the ball and holds the ball up, is it a foul outside the area? It was different in the penalty area. I said, why does everyone say that?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. Yeah.
It shouldn't be. The laws don't state that. The laws of the game do not state that it's different outside the area. So what's the problem?
If a defender backs into you and shields the ball out, that's not a foul either.
That's another annoying one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so annoying. So we're on edge whether it's going to be given. Burnley fans are absolutely livid that this goal has been given.
Yeah. And I think
I can see from their point of view.
Yeah, we would be as well. We would be as well.
But you got to look at Trafford there, haven't you, Steve?
You have. I think VAR has just gone with the ref's decision because it wasn't so desperately blatant.
Yeah.
It is to some, it isn't to others, so it's not blatantly obvious. I think the VAR has just backed up the ref. If the ref had given a foul, they'd have looked at it and stuck with that decision. So I think that's the basis of it. But yeah, I mean, Trafford, the whole game, he would get the ball,
bellend, isn't he?
and then he fall onto his knees and stuff like that.
It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
I know, and people sort of said, that they're sort of taught to finish the save. It wasn't finishing the save because he'd have it and then he'd sort of a couple of strides and then go on the floor.
He'd be on one side of the area and the next minute he's over 7 or 8 yards over the park. The next bit
he just looked like a complete pilchard, but this one... Sorry.
I thought it said pillock then, he said pilchard.
But no, he got it wrong, he misjudged it, good cross from Doughty, he misjudged it, panicked. To me, he just went into the back of Elijah, flapping like an owl and thought, I'll get a free kick.
If Adebayo is not there, does he get to the ball?
No. It would be closer, but I still think Colton was there, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if Adebayo's not there, he probably changed with Morris and he probably gets a foul given against him or whatever. But, look.
You've got to think, I mean, sort of, Elijah's presence and space around him, you've got to think he's got another 3 foot to go from where he was to get to the ball. Morris was there. Morris would have beaten him to it. Now, he might have charged it down with his hands and that we'll never know. But he wasn't going to get to the ball first, I don't think.
But like I say, the fact that Trafford, I think I said to you the other day, Dave, I believe it was you, I said, this guy is doing my head in. I said, the fact he hasn't been booked yet, he was time wasted from the 37th minute, I believe, or 36th minute.
Just after they scored, started time.
So was that 38, was it 39?
Yeah, about where we said about, was it 9, 6, 6? I just
well, either way, but either way,
it was
embarrassing
it was
from
whenever.
him.
Did Kaminsky not get booked for time wasting?
I don't think so. I don't recall.
No,
he got booked for time wasting in a previous game in the first half.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. James Trafford, Trafford was time wasting the whole time. I think he done it about 6-7 times in the second half as well. Kept getting the ball going down, taking 10-15 seconds to kick the ball and that sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, what's going to happen to him now? And I think what happened at the end with that, even if it was a foul, it wasn't a foul. Who cares? We don't know. But what I'm saying from Trafford, he deserved it for being an absolute prick. So
that's Matara's professional opinion on the matter.
He's a tosser, mate. He really is. Honestly, right. If that was my goalkeeper doing that sort of stuff, I'm sorry, I would not be happy with that.
But if we look at the laws of the game, PGMOL guidance says for challenge on keepers, contact is an acceptable part of football. I'm going to take issue with that straight away because there's lots of times where there's the tiniest bit of contact and there's a penalty. Attacking players are permitted to compete for space and competitive advantage by being positioned close to a goalkeeper. We see that all the times at corners and arms are wrapped around them. It's never penalised. Where both attacker and goalkeeper are involved in simultaneous and or similar actions, play should be allowed to continue. So if you base it on that,
it's fine.
Adebayo did nothing wrong.
That's exactly it. But I think this is where everyone is pulling their hair out because those guidelines are not adhered to on a game in, game out basis. They were on that occasion the other night, and I'm absolutely thrilled about it. But so often it isn't, which is why so many Burnley fans had the ump about it. But on Twitter, though, there was still a healthy sprinkle of Burnley fans that were saying that weren't a foul.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then. That's good because I thought almost like 99.9% of them would say, that's a foul, it's a foul. But, like I said, I don't know. But
yeah, because I would say a minority, but there's still definitely a healthy sprinkle of them.
If there was no VAR, there'd be no argument. You'd just be a bit peed off going home.
Well, of course. Well,
if that was a championship game, we've got that goal, they go, oh, well.
This is why, like I say it all the time, I know people might or probably disagree with it, but I do not like VAR because it causes so much more crap the other way. Look, the thing is, right, like I used to say it all the time, we haven't spoken about it for a while, but when there was no VAR and a decision and you've gone by the lino or what the referee had finally made a decision, whatever, you accept it, then you sit there and go, okay, cool. It gives you a talking point on the way back. now the talking points are just going like one way and they're going back to another way, and it's too many directions you can go with VAR now.
Yeah, it wasn't accepted. I mean, nearly every Sunday and Monday on the radio, it would be bitching about referee decisions. So it wasn't, accepted, to be honest with you, Bataro. But all it's done is make some referees cowards to not make a decision.
A coward, fair,
and then pass it on to someone who's in a booth.
Don't want to take the heat.
The referee should referee it. As I say, it may be because of VAR. The referee thought, I'm not going to give anything. I'll let VAR look at it. VAR have just gone, no, we're happy with the ref's decision. So it is distorting and it is manipulating how the rules are set out, because it's almost like they're leaving it to each other to make a decision. And it should be refed on the pitch.
I said before, when if you look at VAR in football and compare it to rugby, now rugby's a little bit different, obviously. But when the referee in rugby wants the video assistant referee to help, he goes, this is my decision, this is what I want you to check, this is what, and that's how it should go.
Well, I think we discussed it a couple of months ago when Liverpool had that really bad one with Spurs, and we gave that exact example. You're right, Dave. He said, I've given this is the reason, I want you to check. Did he foul or was he offside or whatever?
But they take it back to the nth degree. They go, well, it wasn't a foul there, but 3 meters up the pitch there was one over there, and anyway, it was given, and that's the most important thing. You get a point from that.
What a relief!
Absolute relief. Well deserved point for us. 62% possession over the game, 14 shots, 5 on target. We're unbeaten at Turf Moor since 1995.
Really? I mean, it's a big point. Here's a thing for you guys.
Go on.
I think our style of play is evolving.
Oh, 100%.
I know Robbie Edwards said that he wouldn't choose this, but he's got the brains and the intelligence, to go along with what has been sort of really well installed in the club and that. But he said over time it will evolve, and it's easy to when you've got players like Barkley, etc., etc. However, you look at sort of Gay Bosho, the amount of times he will drop a shoulder and go past the attacker. He will take the ball on now. Amari does. Obviously Doughty is and that. So I think, we are evolving, but it's lovely because we've got that Route 1 ability. Yeah. But then at times we can play through the channels. So, teams are starting to think, what are they going to do?
Yeah, what's their style of play? I think I said it a few weeks back. I said, what is like our style of play? I think, Dave, you asked the question maybe 4 or 5 episodes ago. You said, what is our style of play? And I went, I don't think we have a set style of play. No. We're very adaptive. That's the thing. Like you say, evolving with the play. It's great to see. I mean, because it makes us unpredictable as well, doesn't it?
It
Surely,
does.
that's what other teams must be looking at us going, I think that's why Arsenal struggled. I think that's why Liverpool struggled. Because they didn't know what to expect. Whereas, with all due respect, Sheffield United, they look very, what I've seen of them this season, they're very flat, they're very
one-dimensional.
Yeah, it's all much very, like, don't concede, and they do, and they don't know what to do after that.
I think as well, at the moment, there is the view that we are just Route 1 and really hard working, and that's what they do their homework on, and that's what they sort of plan for. So when we do sort of play it about, and but we're not just playing about for the sake of it. We're playing it quickly with a purpose as well.
I think if you don't do your research on our football club, then you're nuts. And long may that continue. Yeah. Going forward. While we're talking about the goalkeeper Trafford, at the end he got. I thought the comeback from Kaminsky at the end, just grabbing the ball and lying there with it.
Yeah.
We talk about goalkeepers all the time, and I'm always the one that thinks they're totally overprotected all of the time. Do you think in the Premier League they're more protected from fouls or whatever else?
I think it's all throughout England, the leagues in Europe. That's the rest of the world. Game, really. It's just the way the football's gone. It's just a bit of contact on the goalkeeper. You can't do it. You can't touch the goalkeeper. Yet the goalkeeper can touch you. They punch the ball or basically jump on top of you. But they never give a penalty for it, though, do they? No. But as soon as you back into a keeper, usually, apart from on Friday night, it's usually 9 times out of 10 it's a foul.
But he was advancing. He advanced into Elijah. Elijah might have taken a little step backwards, but the main
he had the run on him.
He had the main run on him. What annoys me about the goalkeeping situation, and the example is Jordan Clark 2 seasons ago, where West Brom keeper just
him out.
almost killed him.
Oh, yes, yeah.
That was a red card.
Yeah,
it was his chest, wasn't it? He put
it's a red card
knee
all day
straight to his
long.
chest, and they are never given.
Did he have to go for head injury that day?
Yeah, he was gone.
Yeah.
He was gone.
he was
took
out.
him
Yeah.
and he was out for a while.
Yeah.
He was out
Oh,
for a while.
of course. Yeah. No, he got stretched off, did he?
Yeah, you know,
Yes, at the Hawthorns. Yeah, my bad.
And a goalkeeper is allowed to do that with their sort of knees up, boots up.
Yeah.
They're just protecting themselves. And, so that is wrong. But to be honest with you, you can't go back to
In a court of law, it'd be done for a murder there.
I said at the time, there should be a bloody policeman on the pitch there for that. It was awful.
Yeah, 'cause he jumped up, his knees were up, weren't they? Yeah.
Would a VAR have turned that round?
I
Probably
would
not.
hope so.
I don't think so. Mate, well, I don't know.
And here's the problem:
You can't prove it was maliciously intended.
It was a foul.
Yeah,
Without a shadow of a doubt, it was a foul.
It was reckless.
Yeah,
Excessive force. Yeah,
it should have gone. But overprotection, though. What we mean by that is, the refs just give them the benefit of the doubt all of the time, Batara, don't they?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this is the one thing that really gets my back up. Honestly, I cannot stand the fact that the protection of goalkeepers. I mean, look, they've got arms. They've got an advantage of arms. Come on, man. Like, do you know what I mean? A striker can't jump and punch the ball or whatever. The goalkeeper can. It gives him another 2 foot, doesn't it, at least?
Maradona could.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but he was
That made him about 6 foot, didn't it?
It's just ridiculous. Though. Honestly, right, I cannot understand it. Right, as a goalkeeper, and they say it's a contact sport, which is becoming very much a non-contact sport. You give it 20 years, you probably won't be able to touch each other.
I think.
Hang on a minute. Give one of those.
I think Cundy said on TalkSport on Sunday. God knows why I was listening to it for a couple of minutes.
Anyway.
But he said he thought that there's a law that says if the goalkeeper is not in the air, not jumping, then he is treated as an outfield player.
And that is why former footballers can't be referees.
Because I've never ever heard that. I've never heard that before.
But if anyone does know about that, then please let us know.
Yeah, well, because he said it wasn't a foul because Trafford wasn't jumping for the ball. He just sort of ran into Elijah. He was saying that.
I agree with him. I agree with him that it was.
But I've never heard that law commented on.
I agree that for me, the overprotection of goalkeepers comes from the Premier League foul sort of thing that we were talking about all the time. Thinking they've been pushed off the ball, they fall down, they're hoping that a goal gets disallowed for it. You can't touch them. But you've only got to look at the Manchester United Wolves game to see how wrong that was when he clattered into him.
Yeah, that was a bad one, completely wrong.
Terrible. We asked you guys, why do you think, and do you think goalkeepers are overprotected in the modern game? Chris says short answer for me is yes. Most contact on a keeper is a foul when it wouldn't be anywhere else on the pitch. Keepers need to make a judgment calls on whether they can actually win the ball, like all players, and if they can't, they shouldn't go for it. Attackers have the right to try and fairly score. Ed says, I don't know. I don't think Ellie fouled Trafford, but Eli, sorry.
He's an elephant.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't think... Well, I'm going to call him Ellie from now on. I don't think Eli fouled Trafford. I didn't think the goal would have been allowed because of the overprotection of keepers lately. The rules need to be followed more. Laws. Contact and coming together is allowed and thankfully helped us on the other night. Ian, well, they're that one special position. Odd, you might say. Use of hands allowed within the penalty area. So maybe the authorities see them as needing more protection than the other 10 players. More liable to be involved in tussles than contact, maybe. Gid says there's often more of a grey area in the box, and I feel it's easier for the ref to just give a foul in favour of the goalkeeper rather than get vilified for what might seem soft, but is obviously a foul anywhere else on the pitch. Consistency is key, and that's where the league is going wrong.
Consistency is key. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what we don't get.
Dwayne says...
Any football.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave. Go on.
That's right. No, Dwayne says they're ultimately allowed to take players out weekly, but the moment it's reversed, they get the decision.
Okay.
He says Jordan Clark at West Brom is actually the point.
Yeah.
And Andrew says after 2 or 3 major head injuries, this is a valid point.
Yeah.
Check from Chelsea
Petr
springs to
Cech.
Mike. I reckon they are protecting them more since those sort of incidents.
I think one of the bad ones he had was Reading, wasn't it? I mean,
fractured skull, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Shane Long or
that was a bad one.
Yeah.
Well, long may VAR continue to rule in our favour.
Yeah.
Because we've had a couple of anti-VAR things, but as far as overprotection goes, it's not changing. It's not going to change. Just before we finish, I'm just thinking about Reading. I don't know what that's just come to my mind. Reading are in a really poor position, and it makes you grateful that fans of our club, Sweet and 2020, got involved, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've suffered at the hands of crap owners, throughout the last sort of 30 odd years or what have you. But
do you think the league can do anything for them? Given that everybody that went on that pitch broke the law, everybody, criminal offence. Everybody that was on the pitch, how they're going to find the club anymore? Are they going to?
Well, I don't know. They like to sort of just pick on easy cases, as they did with us. But here's the thing: that owner has already been involved in 2 clubs folding.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This was on the radio this
Speaks for
evening.
itself,
So
isn't it?
how on earth has the poxy EFL said, "Yeah, you're a fit and proper person"?
Yeah, this is it.
2 failed clubs that have had to fold under his ownership, and then he gets his hands on someone like Reading, who is a decent sized club. You have to say that. But really, the size of the club is irrelevant.
Of course.
If he's a sack of crap and 2 clubs have already folded, he shouldn't be allowed anywhere near anyone.
But this is the thing, though, they don't care, do they?
No, they don't.
All they want to do is find clubs and get the money back from or whatever. Just what they're doing, just basically thieving from clubs. It is disgraceful.
And I think that's the remit of quite a few of the Reading fans, because the EFL sent out this thing, please, what's his name? Die Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wish you would. But no, a lot of the Reading fans have said, but right back at you, EFL. You're the ones that allowed him to take this club over.
I don't care. I'm not having that. No one stuck up for us. No.
Oh,
one.
no.
Of course.
They go, you're the ones. That's happened all the time. Right. So
but the
he's
EFL, they claim to be accountable, but they're not.
No,
but they don't care.
No.
They don't care. They put into, they drummed a couple of people out
so
of
don't come out with
existence.
these pretend statements that you care about anyone. You don't, because they're as incompetent as the owner.
What as they say, we'll do all we can in the future to stop this happening. And you see the same shite happening every 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah. So if you think about that and you think about financial fair play, surely people should be looking at our model going forward.
A lot of clubs do.
Well, yeah, you'd think. You just being sensible, isn't it? I think you just got to be clever. Like I said, I haven't got the foggiest of how to run a club, obviously, but surely it can't be that hard with no, hang on, no. Sorry, what I was about to say is it can't be hard with common sense and and being stupid and getting people in that have folded clubs, for example. You know what I mean?
We are exceptionally lucky to have.
But there is
our
support
owners.
out there, isn't there? If you need support and help and whatever, surely you can put yourself forward and go, look, we might, this could be an issue. I'm sure you can do that, and you do. There is a thing in place where you can sort of they can help you out a little bit or give you instructions. And obviously you've got lawyers and stuff anyway.
Yeah. So the EFL aren't going to help anyone out.
Like I said, they won't. They're just a bunch of tosspots, aren't they? Really, but look, we know all too well about that, don't we?
We're going to run out of time in a minute, but I just want to say that quite interesting to see safe standing coming to Kenilworth Road. That'll be interesting. Oak Road.
Oak Road, yeah.
I'm sure some people might want to change their places in the ground if they see that. And obviously we got the Cup replay. And if you're listening to this on the way to Bolton, good on you.
Yep.
Are we going to put out a decent team for that?
Yes.
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, good, because we've got a break after this.
I see a few changes from maybe Friday night, maybe 4 or something like that, 3-4 changes, but I can see, a very strong team going there.
Yeah, we're going to send a strong team up there, and hopefully, good home support. A bit more of a rousing occasion. It might bring some intensity in our play. So I think we were a little bit slow in the home league.
I don't know if this is a fair thing for me to say.
Don't say it then.
Well, I'm going to say it anyway. When we were a lower league team and you had that one shot at a Premier League team and you didn't do it the first game, you rarely did it the second game. You rarely. Should we be able to put Bolton to bed this time, or do you think that actually we might just roll over? I don't know.
We won't just roll over. I'm not saying we're going to win, but we've always got a 3-0 defeat to Grimsby up our sleeves.
Oh Jesus! Oh yeah, actually saying like that.
Well, a trip to Palace or Everton awaits the winners of that game. Personally, I hope it's Palace because Everton's quite a journey.
And we'll get stuck in Stanley Park for a couple of hours again.
Yeah.
And then you have to recharge your vehicle, Steve.
So I would just have to drink more.
Yeah.
Well, you can't.
No.
Transfer window's still open. There's lots of transfer rumours going around. Nothing really confirmed yet, apart from Joe Taylor loaned out to Lincoln for the rest of the season. I think that's a good move for him. The other one that I was asked the other night when I was on Football's 12th Man, and that was Leeds United are rumoured to, and the Leeds guy from their podcast asked that what's all this about Ryan Giles coming to play for us for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I did see that. Surely not, though.
I'd have that if Cody Drama comes our way.
See, I'd like Cody, but I think you can't send Giles. I mean, you paid £6 million for this boy. You know he's a good player. He's got to play at some point, surely. Especially with Kabore being away.
Maybe when you send people on loan, you send them out with guaranteed match time.
Maybe, yeah. Then you bring him back for next season.
Yeah, would you have Drama back?
I don't think I would.
No,
I don't think I would. Where is he now?
Birmingham on loan.
Did he get recalled? Did Leeds call him back? Did he get sent back?
I don't. He might have done.
I don't think he's been doing very well at Birmingham.
No,
I don't think he was the player when he left. He should have stayed with us. Full stop. You know, if he comes back,
I don't know if Leeds took that out of his control though. Did they? I got a feeling they
Possibly,
pretty much stopped it.
But no, I think they got rid of Luke Ayling now, haven't they, as well? So I think where's he gone? Whatever anyway. But yeah, that's probably why. I'm sure. I don't know if they ever recalled him. I'm sure I heard something about they're about to recall him, or they have. Or
okay.
I just think it was just come out of nowhere though.
Yeah, for me, Giles hasn't got that aggression intensity that you have to be in the way the team's set up. He just doesn't. He just doesn't have it. There's no doubt in his ability.
We've hardly seen him, mate.
Huh?
We've hardly seen him.
No,
though.
but when we have seen him, he's just not had any of that intensity.
Sure, it's tough to judge a player off like if he's only playing sort of like cameo parts, like 20 minutes at a time, 15 minutes.
Well, Edwards has judged him. He sees him every day.
Another rumour that's come up, Jacob has told us that there's a lot of interest in taking McAtee on a loan period, and you know Sunderland, Plymouth, Ipswich, and Cardiff. Well, you get in one of those teams, you're going to get a lot more experience, right?
Sunderland or Ipswich will be good moves for him.
Sorry, still at Birmingham. He is still at Birmingham, Cody.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing very well. So these are good points for us. Next 5, obviously the FA Cup replay. Brighton at home, Newcastle away, Sheffield at home, Man United at home. I think I said this last week. 6 points from the last 2 for definite. It would be nice to get at least 9 out of that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I've gone for 7.
I'm going for 9.
I've gone 7.
Well, I've gone for 9. We'll see the one. And an FA Cup replay win.
Optimistic Dave.
Well, it makes a change, doesn't it?
It
makes
does.
a change. Thanks to everybody who's been listening and watching. Thanks for listening tonight. If you're on your way to Bolton and you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in. Hope it's a great evening there. Do you want to say hi to the guys that were with us on Friday night? They didn't tell us their names, but they say they listen all the time. So hi to you guys. If you do see us out and about at the games, please come over and say hello. Leave your comments on the YouTube channel if you're watching it on YouTube. And we'll see you all again after the Bolton FA Cup replay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
See you, lads.